Hello, Just Jax here and welcome to my channel. Today we're gonna use up the remainder of, probably the remainder anyway, of these cheap kids nail varnishes. We're just gonna pour them, see what happens, see if we can do some easy pour, some easy relatively cheap pour, because these nail varnishes definitely cost a lot less than getting acrylic, pour medium and silicone medium. So let's just do it, see what happens. So yeah, originally I was just going to pour them on there and just let that be it. And it might be it, but then I thought, what if we stick things on top afterwards? Have this as a background? We'll decide. We're going to have to let it dry anyway, so let's just pour these out. And this is looking pretty cool already, so we might just end up with a load of nail varnish drip. Let's see. It's a bit like knocking sauce out of a ketchup bottle. Well, I don't think there's anything left in these ones, but we'll let it go to see. Well, that's pretty cool as it is. I don't know whether to just let it dry and have just a really nice textured canvas. That looks really cool. Or do we start tilting it and see what happens? I'm torn. I'm torn. Right. I think we're going to press forward and see what happens. If you try this at home and you've got some either really old nail varnishes that are just good for nothing or some cheap kids ones like I got here, and you want to stop there by all means, because that looks really cool. That would be a really nice piece to have up in your room. It'll add a little splash of colour as well. We're going to press on and see what happens. I do really like, let me just get the camera on the phone up just to show you. Actually, we'll go that way. Look at that. That looks so cool as it is. That's so beautiful as it is. I'm actually torn now, so much so that I might buy more of those kids' nail varnishes. Well, I went for the tilt. That looks really cool. And if we keep going, it's starting to dry. I'm losing my voice. Let me just sip some tea. I'm going croaky. We have got all sorts going on in there now. That is so mesmerising to watch. I think if I let it dry, that'll give these nail varnishes on the side here a chance to just all fall to the bottom. Then we might just re-spot over the top again. See what we get. Alright, this is dry enough that we can put the remainder on if there's anything left in any of these. And see what we got. If we just leave them splodged, dripped, flicked, or if we roll them over the top. I think we might just leave these over the top. Okay, this is what we have. So I'm not going to do anything to that this time. I'm not going to tilt it. I'm not going to get carried away with watching the colours run. I'm just going to let them dry. Right. Oh, beautiful nail varnish. Drip, splash, splatter, run. Canvas is dry. And that feels so cool. I don't think we can get it from there. I'll have to get a close-up in a second. It's so cool because it's raised in so many different points. That nail varnish has dried really, really well. Because some would be inclined to sink in. This has maintained, like if you were to do this with paint, acrylic, watercolour, anything like that, it'll dry, it'll crack, it'll sink a little bit. This hasn't. It still looks like wet nail varnish, but it isn't. So once again, we're at that point. Should we leave it there? It does. I had an idea. I thought playing with silhouette, like no more colour added, just something black. There's already white going on, so putting white in there won't stand out. Black probably would. So I did a little test down here. I painted my lips and I had a look to see, try to visualise, would that look good on there? Not a lot, just a few dotted around, sort of perhaps 3 or 4 in the middle here somewhere. So I'm going to do it. This will either go wrong or right. And as always, there's only one way to find out. Let's just do it. So far, I'm liking where it's going. We're going to do it. More paint needed. So if it doesn't print well, that's just how it's going to be. That one was better. We might just go over a touch for definition's sake. Right. I'm going to define these and then wash my lips. So I'm not going to define all of them. Some of them are fine as they are. Yep. Right. I'll be back. I'm going to go put the mirror back and wash my lips. Alright, our canvas is finished. That is pretty cool. And there were, in total, 3 points that you could stop at if you were going to have a go at this yourself. Just using cheap kiddie nail varnish. Bit of paint though. I had a thought after I did this. If you had black lipstick, you could just use black lipstick and not paint. It would work just as well. I just give it a clear varnish after to make sure that lipstick stays in place. Otherwise it'll eventually wear off. But yeah, that's really cool. And I've unintentionally decided that it's this way up, though it can go any way up really. But I think because of how I did the lips, we're going to go with this way up. So let's get a nice close-up on there so you can all see what I can see. How cool is this? If I can get right down here, let's just angle it up. You can see it's all textured and raised, which is really cool. And yeah, 3 points you could stop at. You could stop at just putting the dots and drips on, because that looks really cool as it was. You could stop at the stage of tilting it and getting all these runs. Or you can go all the way through and add a silhouette of some such over the top. Pretty cool, right? I love running my hands over it as well, because you can feel all the different textures, all the lumps and bumps. Get right in there. Stay in focus. And that cheap kids nail varnish stays super shiny. If you want a wet look finish, I mean, that looks like it's been freshly applied. Like I said, if you were to do this with paint, that would sink in as the water in the paint evaporated, and it would eventually crack and potentially flake a little bit, dependent, because we're quite heavy with this. This is quite deep. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope it's given you some ideas, things you can do. You don't even have to go out and get some cheap kids nail varnish. I got that for another project and then quickly upgraded. And they went far. I've used them for 3 separate projects, and this was the most heavy-handed one. So they'd have gone a lot further if I just wanted to use them to add colour to things and not, you know, pour and drip and go whole hog. So yeah, thank you so much. Like if you like what you see, comment if you've got something to say, and subscribe if you really like what you see and you want to see more and know when it's coming. Thank you all again so much. Take care and see you in the next one.